up the road in Cleveland. They've got 5, 6, 7, 8 quarterbacks that they're trying to almost, it feels like it. They got 4, and Kenny Pickett's got an injury that has reduced, at least for now, the competition to 3. Jimmy Haslam met with reporters yesterday, and the issue came up again of the decision to use the 144th pick in the draft in round 5 on Shedeur Sanders after they had drafted Dillon Gabriel the day before in round 3. Here's Haslam on that issue.
We have good process, okay? And if you'd have told me, let's see, we picked him on Saturday, right? Friday night driving home, y'all are going to pick Shedeur, I would say that's not happening. But we had a conversation early that morning, and then we had a conversation later that day. I think we had the right people involved in the conversation. At the end of the day, that's Andrew Berry's call. Andrew made the call to pick Shedeur.
Okay. Ignore what he said at the end. Pay attention to what he said before that.
Yeah.
It's one thing if the GM has the absolute call and he walks into the room and it's time to make the pick at 144 and he says...
There's no meeting and he says, I want this guy.
2 meetings.
Right.
What do you think the meetings were about? Consider the context. What were they meeting about? What they're going to do with the round 7 pick? No. They had a couple of meetings to talk about what they're going to do. And my guess is the first meeting was before round 4 and the second meeting was after round 4.
Yeah.
What are we going to do if he's there when we pick at 144? What should we do? And there's that view of, well, these players are assets and you can't have enough good quarterbacks. And the key is this. If Jimmy Haslam's in the room, and this is the obligation that any owner has, and I don't know how many of them are even aware of the importance of keeping your mouth shut.
Yeah.
Because anything you say, any question you ask, any facial expression, the other people in the room who would very much like to continue to be paid by the multi-billionaire that owns the team will be watching. No matter what you do, they're going to be watching. And I suspect that Andrew Berry didn't go rogue in what he did, that whatever he did was something that he knew the owner was not going to give him a, what the hell did you just do? Look,
right.
What did we talk about at our 2 meetings today?
Right.
So he's telling on himself by being that candid about this process. If he's involved in the process, what I want to hear an owner say is, you know what? My football people figured it out. They met this morning. I was playing golf. They met this afternoon. I was having lunch. They've spent the time talking about it. This is what they decided to do, and I trust them to make the right decisions. That's what I want to hear an owner say.
Yeah,
That's what any fan should want their owner to say.
That's what the good owners are doing. But as we know, and from many stories from many people, the owners do get involved. They say things, whether it's about the coaching the football team or picks in the draft. And, this certainly seems like one where, there was deep conversations within the organization, the owners involved. He's saying things and obviously wasn't against the drafting of Shedeur Sanders with them already taking Dillon Gabriel. He obviously didn't say no to it. If he said no to it, they wouldn't have done it. Andrew Berry. So he obviously left that open, and whether he kind of gave them the nudge and made them feel like, hey, I do kind of want him, or he just said, hey, it's up to you guys now, but I'm comfortable if you do it. I don't know that. I haven't heard that definitively to know. But either way, I think to your point is if he's nudging it or thinking it there, GMs are going to be a little bit like, ooh, I think the owner kind of wants me to do this, really. And it's your boss. There's going to be pressure there. And the other aspect is if he's just signed off on it, and then this is where you get back to Cleveland and the analytics and everything that way and draft value like you explained. They seem to be one of those teams that kind of is just a sucker to that more than other teams. They do that. And you've heard me say that the human element, that's where somebody's got to step in and go, wait, I know the computer and the numbers and everything, the value, and we all want value in the draft. It all says that. But that's where you'd hope a GM or a Kevin Stefanski could speak up and go, wait, I've been in situations like this. When we have this kind of situation, it's a distraction to the team. Not everybody's getting enough reps. It just overtakes everything we do, and that's where we are with them right now. We're still talking about it. We're still talking about Shedeur Sanders. And, I don't think it's necessarily the best to build your team this way. No, I don't.
I would blame it all on Chief Strategy Officer Paul DePodesta, but I think he is just cover for Haslam, doing whatever Haslam wants to do.
Yeah.
I think it goes back to Johnny Manziel. Mm-hmm. That was Haslam. Remember he told Sal Palantonio, a homeless guy said, draft Manziel. Ha, ha, ha. Haslam put his thumb on the scale with Manziel. And there's no way that Deshaun Watson wasn't a Haslam production because for all the problems that contract caused,
Yep.
if Haslam wasn't the one who said do it, he would have cleaned out that front office.
I don't think there's any doubt about that.
They
You're
would
right.
all be gone,
That's
and they're
right.
all still there.
Right.
The fact that they're all still there tells me that the person responsible for the worst transaction in NFL history, the trade and signing of Deshaun Watson, the person responsible for it can't be fired.
Yeah. No, I mean, listen, it goes on there. And back to your Manziel thing, you're right. Who was the GM at that time? Ray Farmer.
Ray Farmer,
right? And I know people that were a part of that organization and that coaching staff. Like, it seemed like it was a Haslam and Ray Farmer. We're taking the Johnny Manziel. We don't care what everybody else says, right? I know enough people in the organization at that time where the grades on Johnny Manziel were not conducive to being drafted in the first round. That's just the truth of the matter. But, yeah, he was a bright, shiny object, and Jimmy Haslam wanted to jumpstart things, and he thought Johnny Manziel could be the answer to that, and he fell into the same trap with Deshaun Watson because of the desperation after how he looked after the Johnny Manziel thing. And now here we are still kind of like the dog chasing the tail, still trying to get this quarterback situation straight here in Cleveland. And I know we talked a little bit yesterday. I don't know where it goes. I really don't. But, I mean, every day there's things about the reps, the quarterback Shedeur didn't get enough reps today. All of these discussions are constantly going on, and there's just such a spotlight on a team that's got a lot of issues, but the quarterback thing is all anybody can talk about, and that's the risk you take when you draft a Shedeur Sanders in the 5th round when you already have a plethora of quarterbacks to go along with it.
Chris, one of the questions I got during the break on PFTPM was to identify all the quarterbacks throughout the league who are on the hot seat this year.
Yeah.
And for Cleveland, I said all of them. There's a chance all of them will be gone next year or not in position to start. I mean, with Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders, they have slotted rookie contracts that make them very affordable. They could be there as a backup, but to the extent any of them that play this year, they could all be in a position to not play next year because the Browns have their first-round pick, they have the Jaguars' first-round pick, and they can spring up to get or they may not even have to spring. They may be the worst team in the NFL this year on merit.
We'll see.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.